Paris, a name that whispers art, fashion, and endless romance. From the sparkling Eiffel Tower to the quiet cafés on every corner, it's a dream painted in stone and light. But behind its beauty lies a journey that took centuries. A story of kings and revolutions, of wars and rebirths, of love and light. Let's go back in time and see how Paris became the heart of France and the soul of Europe. Centuries ago, before the towers and the lights, this land was just a quiet swamp beside the River Seine. Around 250 BC, a Celtic tribe called the Parisi settled here. That's where the name Paris came from. They built wooden huts, traded with travelers, and lived simple lives by the river's edge. Centuries passed, and the world around the Seine began to change. In 52 BC, the Romans came, led by Julius Caesar. They built a small city called Lutetia on the banks of the Seine. Stone buildings, temples, and baths turned the simple village into a Roman town. Over time, Lutetia grew, the first heartbeat of what would one day become Paris. In the 3rd century, Christianity began to spread through the land. Saint Denis, the first bishop of Paris, was captured and executed for his faith. Legend says he picked up his head and walked miles before falling, a story that inspired the building of the Basilica of Saint Denis. It became one of the most sacred places in France. During the Middle Ages, Paris became a bustling trade center. Merchants sold goods along the Seine, and narrow stone streets filled with life. In 1163, construction began on the magnificent Notre-Dame Cathedral. It took nearly 200 years to complete, but it became the heart of medieval Paris. In the 12th century, the University of Paris was founded. It attracted scholars from all over Europe. Ideas, art, and philosophy flowed like the River Seine. Paris became known not just for power, but for knowledge and culture. The 14th and 15th centuries were dark times. War raged between France and England, the 100 Years' War. Paris was invaded, starved, and nearly destroyed. But even when the lights went out, hope flickered in the hearts of Parisians. They rebuilt their city once more. By the 1600s, Paris became the jewel of French kings. Grand palaces, wide boulevards, and golden halls defined the age. King Louis XIV, the Sun King, moved his court to Versailles, but Paris remained the center of art and culture. Painters, poets, and philosophers filled the cafés of the city. 1789. The year everything changed. The people of Paris rose up against the monarchy. They stormed the Bastille, demanding freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Blood was spilled, kings fell, but from the chaos came a new France and a new Paris. In the 19th century, Emperor Napoleon III and architect Haussmann transformed Paris. They tore down old streets and built wide avenues, parks, and bridges. The Paris you see today, elegant, open, and bright, was born in this era. It became known as the City of Lights. In 1889, the Eiffel Tower was built for the World's Fair. At first, people hated it. They called it ugly, a metal monster. But over time, it became the very symbol of Paris, a beacon of innovation, art, and dreams reaching for the sky. The 19th century turned Paris into the world's art capital. Painters like Monet, Renoir, and Degas changed the way the world saw beauty. They captured moments, light on water, faces in crowds, rain on cobblestones. Cafés in Montmartre buzzed with poets, dreamers, and artists painting the soul of the city. Between 1870 and 1914, Paris lived its golden age, the Belle Époque. The Eiffel Tower shined, cabarets danced, and the city sparkled with joy. Electric lights brightened the streets, and people believed anything was possible. It was the era of romance, invention, and elegance, Paris at its most alive. Then came the darkness. World War I shattered Europe, and Paris felt its pain. Then World War II. The city fell under Nazi occupation. Yet even in the shadows, Paris never lost hope. In 1944, the French resistance helped free the city, and once again, Paris rose. After the war, Parisians rebuilt their homes, bridges, and dreams. New neighborhoods grew, trains connected the world, and the city began to heal. From the ruins, Paris found strength and turned pain into progress. By the 1950s and 60s, Paris became the center of style, film, and music. Catherine Deneuve, Brigitte Bardot, and Edith Piaf brought Paris to screens and hearts. Fashion houses like Chanel, Dior, and Yves Saint Laurent ruled the world. Paris was no longer just a city, it was a symbol of elegance. In 1968, students filled the streets of Paris, demanding freedom and change. It wasn't just a protest, it was the voice of a new generation. Their energy changed politics, art, and society forever. Paris once again proved it's a city that never stays silent. In the 1980s and 90s, Paris opened its arms to the world. Modern landmarks like La Défense and the Louvre Pyramid blended the old with the new. Millions of tourists arrived each year, drawn by the city's charm. Paris had become not just France's capital, but a global dream. Couples kissed by the Seine, artists sketched by the river, musicians played in quiet corners. Paris became the backdrop for love stories told across the world. From Midnight in Paris to Emily in Paris, every story carried one message. Love feels different under the Parisian sky. In recent decades, Paris has faced new challenges: climate, migration, and modernization. But the city continues to evolve. New eco-friendly projects, bike lanes, and green rooftops show a commitment to the future. Paris is learning to grow without losing its soul. Today, Paris stands tall, a living blend of history and hope. The Eiffel Tower still watches over a city that never stops dreaming. From its ancient streets to its digital skyline, Paris continues to inspire the world. Because Paris isn't just a place, it's a feeling. Today, Paris is a city where every corner tells a story. From the art inside the Louvre to the music in the metro, creativity flows through its veins. Writers, filmmakers, and artists from all over the world come here to be inspired. Paris doesn't just create culture, it defines it. Every landmark in Paris holds a piece of history. The Eiffel Tower, symbol of innovation. Notre-Dame, a reminder of faith and endurance. The Louvre, the home of the Mona Lisa. And the Champs-Élysées, where every step feels like walking through time. Today, Paris moves forward, where electric bikes glide past centuries-old bridges, and history meets innovation at every turn. Fashion weeks fill the streets with flashes of cameras and dreams. Cafés still hum with conversation, proof that the Parisian spirit lives on. Now, Paris is building a cleaner, greener future. The city is adding more trees, more parks, and more sustainable transport. It's not just about beauty anymore. It's about balance. A city that inspires the world must also protect it. Through wars, revolutions, and rebirths, Paris has never lost its glow. It continues to inspire dreamers, lovers, and believers. Paris isn't perfect, but it's alive, powerful, and full of magic. And that's why the world will always call it not just the City of Lights, but the city that never stops dreaming. If you enjoyed this journey through the heart of Paris, don't forget to subscribe to Citynova. Here we explore the stories behind the world's greatest cities, their past, their people, and their secrets. So hit that subscribe button and let's keep discovering the world together. This is Citynova, where every city tells a story.